And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Again, hope you enjoyed that shorter break and the brutal OST keeping you company as well. As we have returned, with the first semifinals of the night of Sparkling Tuna Cup number 55, our weekly open tournament. Again, shout out to Kuro. Kuro has been adminning the event, of course, as she always does, and we will also be conducting a raffle just before the finals. We'll get into that right after, of course, these semis. And here we go. We have our first semifinals. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Bleed Esports. It is NightMare. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is Gerald. And if you are in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think is going to make it to the grand finals. Will it be NightMare or Gerald? Will it be the reigning Sparkling Tuna Cup champion? Or will it be the Polish Protoss himself? Not quite with a mustache anymore, but still one of the stronger Protoss players out there. He has been on the rise in the Polish scene, in the European scene, climbing those Protoss ranks amongst players like Harsum, like Skillus, like Gerald has been doing very well for himself in the past year of play, even longer. Getting into the upper echelon of European play. We'll see kind of where we settle. Predictions open. We go. For now, it is going to be 2-gate. 2-gate opener out of Geralt. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of NightMare as well. 2-gate openers all around. We are going to be settling in. 2 gateways into their respective cyber cores. From here, we can open up in a couple different ways. We could open up Stalker Sentry, double Adept, double Stalker. Aggression is going to be favored on a map as small as Ghost River. Speaking of, that's what we've spawned in. A very small map. There it is. It's going to be a bit of a greedier opener out of Geralt. Meanwhile, a more aggressive opener out of NightMare. Bold move. Now, again, with this opener, it's going to be Stalker Zealot. Initially, we cancel Zealot going to the Stalker. I believe we should be canceling the Stalker and going for a faster expansion. So much greedier play here from Gerald. Yeah, the sentry has arrived, probe gets forced back, and now we can expand. Now we can... Yeah, there we go. I was like, we should be canceling. We cancel the Stalker and we expand. So it is a very greedy build here by Gerald, essentially opening up with one unit. One sentry expand here from Gerald. Meanwhile, NightMare will have a bit of an army lead. We have 2 Stalkers. We have 2 Stalkers soon to be with 2 sentries to follow up and to support. Is on the way, going for a tech of choice, going for a Twilight Council opener from the side of NightMare. Working towards Blink. Meanwhile, Geralt is going to be building himself up as well, yet to throw down any tech of choice. Keep an eye on Geralt to see if we go for a Stargate or a Robo. Probe Scout does confirm the Twilight Council. I feel like we should be responding with a Robo. Oh, never mind. Twilight Council follow-up here out of Geralt. Now, Blink is going to be much faster for NightMare. It's going to be a very fast Blink timing available here to NightMare. Until then, Geralt has to be a little bit more defensive and, yeah, take a more defensive stance overall until he catches up with his own Blink time. Meanwhile, hello, Geralt. We do send a probe out on the map. Interesting. Throwing down a proxy pylon. Okay. Now, I know that I just said, oh, we have to catch up with Blink. Twilight Council's done. Blink is on the way, but with this proxy, I'm not going to be surprised if we see a Dark Shrine. That would be interesting. Hallucination does scout, does confirm the research on the Twilight Council. There it is. Dark Shrine is on the way. Bold move by Geralt. Very bold move going for the proxy Dark Shrine. Going into DT production. Meanwhile, if we have no detection, we're going to be vulnerable. But NightMare doesn't cut corners. He goes for a safety Robo at the natural. Very nice follow-up here by NightMare. It is not uncommon for Protoss players to go for a third, to take a third base before the Robo and to delay their Robo even longer. But thankfully, as we can see, we have thrown down the Robo, we have access to detection. I believe Geralt has not confirmed. Yeah, Geralt, he has not seen the tech at the natural. He's unaware. He hasn't seen the third base timing either. So Gerald is gambling a little bit here, and he can still get damage done, but he won't end the game. Like, he should not end the game with this. This NightMare should be able to have the tools to defend. As there's the Robo. And we should soon be seeing an Observer. Yeah, there we go. Observer is on the way. Meanwhile, Gerald taking a later third base, getting into his own Blink Stalkers. Blink about to finish. Meanwhile, NightMare will have the Forge with +1, so NightMare will have the faster third base. The superior Stalkers with +1 is just building up. Gerald taking a chance. Getting into those Dark Templar. DTs are waddling in. First Observer is parked outside the natural. Now with these DTs, we can still just wait for the opportune moment and then go in as NightMare moves out, and we can still get damage done. But we have to be very careful with our Dark Templar. Don't want to overextend. Now we are going to be settling in. We have, I believe, 2 observers, right? Yeah, 2 observers here. One in the main, one at the natural. DT's lying in wait outside. Very patient play out of Gerald. Meanwhile, saturating our third, probing up. And NightMare is even about to scout this with the hallucination. It does confirm the proxy, does confirm the Dark Shrine. Now, upon confirming this, NightMare should be throwing down cannons. We should be seeing cannons in all these mineral lines. There we go. Cannons are on the way. Even though we have detection, we do need side defense here to ensure that nothing goes awry. There we go. Cannons and shield batteries. Jesus, that's quite a lot. Cannon at the natural, cannon in the main. And you can definitely argue that this is inadvertent damage, right? Like, because we scouted the Dark Shrine, now it does force extra site defense, extra resources spent elsewhere. True, but this is also still a big commitment here from Gerald, and he still has to make it pay for itself. I would still give the edge to NightMare. When it comes to the main armies, NightMare, he's up in Stalkers, he's even in Immortals, he's up in upgrades. +1 is about to finish, though. And NightMare does not have +2 on the way. Oh. We're committed. NightMare is moving out with everything he has. We have no shield. Oh, okay, we do have a shield battery. Thankfully, we do have a shield battery behind this. We do have the overcharge. NightMare pushing forward. Nice force fields. We do hold the line. Gerald is holding. DT is not pushing in quite yet. There we go. They do waddle forward. But again, there's 2 cannons to defend. We should be okay. The DTs pull back. Shields are going to be triggered. We do catch 1 sentry. 1 sentry goes down. NightMare getting within range of the cannon. Unable to break through. Gerald is expanding, taking a 4th base. Let's go. Is taking a 4th. Overcharge is popped. And Gerald, he blinks on forward. Is within range of the overcharge. Will help support him. And Gerald will hold the line. Force fields did pin him back. DT is turning around. I believe Gerald did snipe the observer. Yeah. We have a backup observer on the way. NightMare is going for the 4th. Does force a cancel. Also going for the proxy. But again, here come those Dark Templar. Catching out the main army. And can we catch the Prism? It's going to be close. Yeah, we're diving in the army. NightMare, he's pinned. He has to recall. He's forced to recall. We'll bleed out more Stalkers. 2, 3 more Stalkers go down. Big pickoffs. And despite canceling the 4th, it's still faster for Gerald. Gerald still has the faster 4th. 4th just now on the way for NightMare. Picks up, gets the hell out of there. Dark Shrine has been killed. Do we have any DTs? We still have 2 Dark Templar with the main army. They can still do well. NightMare racing back. Getting into Disruptors. The bay is done. We have double Robo, double Disruptor production. Now, even though Gerald does have momentum on his side, pushing into disruptors is very difficult. Very difficult to pull off. And we're getting into our own disruptor production. Let's go. Disruptors are on the way. Fourth base being taken. +2 massive for Gerald, as he did invest earlier. As NightMare was stuck on +1 for quite some time. Was maybe not expecting to have to expand and take a fourth. Dark Shrine being rebuilt. I do love this, that we're reinvesting. Once again, the Observer goes down. Do we have any Observers left? We do not. Not for NightMare. They have to be rebuilt. To rebuild the Observers. DTs could hit the fourth or even the natural. Even going to the main. We have potential. Would need a lot of DTs. Just because of the cannons. NightMare double expanding, going for the fifth base. It's double expanding. How many disruptors do we have? 7 versus 5. 7 from NightMare. We snipe one. One disruptor goes down. Never goes up. Takes down the Zealot. Very chaotic moment. NightMare does move out on the right hand side. At the same time, Gerald trying to bypass the army. Is spotted. NightMare coming in. Ooh, snipes another disruptor. Nova's going up. Nice catch. Another disruptor goes down. And we're getting the drop into the main at the same time. Yeah, NightMare, he has just been trading better here. Same time, looks like the Prism is getting caught out. Nova's going up. Ooh, big connections. And we deny the southern base. Nexus is cancelled. Denied. Likewise pushing forward. Oh my god. And both players are about to max out. Going for a massive DT counterattack. Bold move here. Ooh. By Gerald. Going for a Hail Mary play. Shuts down the first cannon. Shuts down the second. DTs are popping off. What about the main army? Yes, we get 19 probe kills across the map. So much damage being dealt. The entire mineral line goes down. Shoals and overs. Up. They go off. No big connections. We zone away the army. Observer has arrived. We shut down the robos. And that's the biggest thing. It wasn't just the mineral line, but we got both robo facilities. Which means no more disruptors. Up. Oh my god, we almost connect. Gerald pushing in. Does have the high ground. Gerald's a little bit late to shoot there. Does catch a disruptor, but yeah, we just dive on the army. NightMare, he can take the fight, forcing Gerald all the way back. Has to get the hell out of here. And he's going to bleed out quite a lot in the process. And Gerald, we need to spend our money. We're getting into Zealots, working towards Sky Toss. Stargate's on the way. We're going to get caught out. Yeah, massive pickup here from NightMare. He catches the main army. Even though NightMare, he lost a lot of his economy, even though he lost his production, his main army here stands strong. Main army does stand strong. That's going up. His base will fall. Gerald trying to muster up his army. Again, still has an economy to work with. The longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Gerald. He's going to be able to remax. He just needs time. Does need time. do have a DT waddling in. Going to be distracting NightMare. Both players about to max out. Tempest on the way this time. Better connection for Gerald. We are getting some better connections. Tempest on the way. Again, if Gerald can hold on a little bit longer, build up his Tempest count. Ooh, much better Novas. Novas will connect. We have the overcharge. Tempest under fire. But Gerald is building up. Is building up and is getting away with a better army. NightMare getting forced back. Gonna try and force his way up the ramp towards the natural. Does break down the wall. Oh my god. Gerald trying to anticipate those blinks. Doesn't quite get them. Nova's sending away the army. Tempest count getting higher at the same time. Bottom right was denied. We've rebuilt the wall. Once again engaging. Up! Oh my god. Takes out the disruptor. Shuts down the observer as well. Zelt's rocking up. We do see NightMare trying to go for a big counterattack. Again, NightMare does have the more mobile army. And this might force a recall. Might end up forcing the recall. Catching another disruptor. Yeah, Stalkers towards the natural. Nothing quite in position. Does force a warping at least. Warping in DTs. And we're going to lose a lot. Oh, we're going to lose so much in the main base. The Stargates. The Stargates, they get depowered. Ay, ay, ay. There we go. We do force a recall. We should be able to get this all back up and running. Main army's going to be clashing. NightMare getting back into disruptor production. Pushing forward, going Mass Blink Stalker. Tempest is still massing up. Tempest can trade well, but they're also vulnerable on their own. Like, we have to make sure we don't get caught out. Main army is spotted. Why is NightMare outmaneuvering his opponent? Novas go off. Oh my god. They connect in favor of Gerald, just barely. It was close. Oh my god, massive connection. No. Yeah, Gerald, he bleeds out so many disruptors. Now we can dive in. Now, where is the support? We have Zealots. Zealots, they morph in just in time. But is it enough? These Tempests, they're so exposed. We have to pull back. Overcharges pop with a Mass Blink Stalker. We're getting under the Tempest. And it looks like NightMare has too much. Again, if only we had a handful of disruptors, we could hold the line. But it's not going to happen. Not anymore. Zealots are coming in. They do help reinforce. Tempest doing what they can. We didn't repower everything in the main. Disruptors are on the way. Up! Oh my god, we do get a connection. And even though NightMare had a bit of a worse economy here, did break through. Is slowly bleeding off units here. And Gerald still maintains like the southern base. We still have a stronger worker count. Heavily oversaturated. We do need to work on that saturation. Up. NightMare does avoid the main army. Ooh, massive connections. Massive Novas. GG gets called, and NightMare will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Oh my, a very, very intense back and forth. I mean, we had some really good damage dealt by the initial DTs from Gerald, able to shut down the robos, able to shut down the economy. We successfully got into Tempest production as well, but at the end of the day, we did see some better Novas, or I say better Novas, it was really just one Nova. We saw one big Nova connect in favor of NightMare, where he got like 4 or 5 disruptors. That was a massive moment where things heavily swung in his favor. Before that, we saw that NightMare was able to, just pick away at the disruptor count. was able to pick away the disruptor counts over time and out-trade his opponent. But I want to believe that Gerald can bounce back here, that we can fight back. So we're getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. Meanwhile, it looks like we do have the lower semifinals ready for us. Do you have the lower semifinals ready? We are getting there. As spawning in, oh, there we go. In the bottom right hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming, down in this series, looking to bounce back and force the ace match. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Lead Esports. It is NightMare. We go. Are going to be settling in. As once again we should be seeing some 2-gate openers from both NightMare and Gerald. Should be settling in here, and again Gerald did have a pretty big advantage in the last game, like with the army when it comes to the economy as well. But that's where NightMare could really thrive, as he had a lot of micro potential with Mass Blink Stalker Disruptor, and was able to outcontrol, was able to outtrade, and eventually overwhelm. But we'll see how we can settle into our next game. See how we can settle in. For now, we are just going to be working up towards our 2-gate opener. Oh my god, my apologies. NightMare going for a gate expand. I just made an assumption there, but NightMare going for a much more economic opener, which means Gerald has the option to go for something more aggressive. He did confirm the build of choice. Now, Gerald could go for a 1-base all-in, but it looks like a proxy Stargate. Looks like a setup for a proxy Stargate into Oracle production, so it's going to be Adepts alongside Oracles to harass across the map. And Gerald will expand. NightMare is here to be as annoying as possible. We'll delay the expansion. Stargate is on the way. Meanwhile, NightMare opening up Robo. So NightMare playing very safe. He's unaware of what's going on. NightMare getting ready for the worst. With this Robo opener, we have access to a Prism and to Immortal production in case it is an all-in. We can see that it's not. The Gerald is just going to be harassing with Oracles and Adepts, and we'll be expanding. Adepts, they do take extra hits. Oh, the Shade is denied. Shade into the main base is going to be denied here. We at least kept the Adepts alive. Now we have from 2 into 4 Adepts. 4 Adepts turning a Shade. Oracle into the main. There's a Stalker in position where we're going for the Mineral Lion. And we head for the main base. Probes are going down. We get 3, 4. Up. Can we get 5? We barely can. Oh, but did we ever say our welcome? We do barely get away. 5 probe kills at the same time. Adepts, they cannot shade into the main, but they do shade into the natural. And we're just accumulating that probe damage. 10 probe kills. Oh my god, 10 workers go down. Gerald, calm down. Gets 10 worker kills, takes a worker lead, but he still doesn't quite have the natural. So NightMare can recover. NightMare can rebuild those workers. And there's still a lot more pressure on Gerald to get more damage done. Meanwhile, both players working towards Blink. Twilight Council's on the way. Blink alongside it. Second Oracle comes in. Oh, gets one more probe. One probe goes down. Oh my god. As we don't quite get the Adepts. Gerald's barely shading away. Blink is on the horizon here for Gerald. Likewise, Gateway Explosion from NightMare trying to catch up with his own Blink. So we do shade in. Once again, we're still not. Oh my, we're still getting more damage done, Papi. Getting up to 4. Oh, almost 5. 4 more probes. That's going to be 16 probe kills in total. Ay, ay, ay. An entire mineral line worth of workers have gone down. NightMare just unable to keep up. And now here comes the next wave. Here comes the next push. How many gateways? 4. It's going to be 4 Gate Blink Stalkers out of Gerald. He's done a crippling amount of damage already. He's done so much economic damage. And now we're coming in for the kill. Or we could try to at least. Oracle meeting up. We have a proxy pylon towards the left-hand side. Geralt is moving out. And there's going to be a window. There's going to be a timing where Geralt has Blink and NightMare does not. His Blink is still on the way. The army is spotted by the Observer. NightMare has the high ground. Gets a shut off. Ooh, gets a Stalker. Yeah, Blink finishing up 1 second too late. There's that proxy gateway and Geralt expands. Geralt does expand. Again, the worker counts are still neck and neck. Geralt's rotating into the main. Stasis trap going up. Oh, we don't react! Oh, no reaction. Massive stasis here into the natural base. Ay, ay, ay. We catch the entire mineral line. Probes are caught out. Likewise, stasis into the main doesn't quite connect this time. Not quite yet. Gerald does fall back. So Gerald rotates around. Headed for the main. We have the Oracle here for high ground vision. And we will dive in. Okay, we dive into the main base. Stalkers are being focused on. We can depower the pylons. And shut NightMare down. Even going for the Robo. We won't quite get it. Robo will survive. Getting into Immortal production. But good pickups nonetheless. Out of Geralt, he does pull away. Likewise, continuing to reinforce. With more Stalkers. We are amassing more Stalkers here, but alas, with the help of the Immortals, we can make up for our lack of Blink Stalkers. So NightMare can defend, he can hold. No shield batteries at the third, which is a little bit concerning. Look at the army sizes. Geralt does have the Stalker lead, once again rotating into the main, but this time we're in position. This time NightMare is ready. Oh, we're blinking nonetheless. Yeah, no fear, we go for the Immortal. We focus it down. The Immortal falls. NightMare out of position. Adepts a shade into the mineral line. But Geralt won't quite break through. Got the Immortal at least. Leaves out 2 Stalkers. Continuing to reinforce, taking a 4th base. Geralt not taking extra gases, just focusing on mineral income here at the 3rd, just going mass Blink Stalker into Zealots. Meanwhile, NightMare working towards Disruptors. So NightMare is taking up, that's why we have extra gases. And Geralt is sticking with a Swarm Toast composition with mass gateway units. Trying to brute force his way through. And he could. For a long time there were no shield batteries, so there were 3 shield batteries on the way. They are in production. production here for NightMare. He's up against the wall. Mass zealots are accumulating back at home. And we will soon pull the trigger. Just waiting for that moment. Speaking of, stasis trap is going to get baited out. So you bait out the stasis. Disruptors are on the way. I feel like we're missing our window here for Gerald. Here we go. The boys are all coming together. Getting a Stalker, getting 2. Stalker counts are comparable. Disruptor being held back. Soon to be 2 Disruptors. And these Novas are going to be so crucial here in the defense. So crucial for NightMare. Oracle into the main. Stasis trap goes off. Once again, massive stasis in the main base. Big connection. Disruptors have been revealed. Geralt is aware. I'm curious if his plan now, it could just be to contain. Yeah, cannon, shield batteries. Now we can take gases. Now we can take up ourselves. We don't have to force it. Oh. Catching a Stalker. Zealot counterattack running into Geralt. Geralt now diving into the main. Zealots do collapse here on top of the main army. That was going to get baited out. We'll be pulling into the main. Stasis trap will finish. And we do get the pylon. Catching a good chunk of the army. Not a bad start. Oh! That was going up. Looks like 1 disruptor went down. And we call 1 disruptor. We still have 2 more, which we can snipe. We get 1. We get 2, and now 3 disruptors. Oh my god, the 3rd disruptor barely survives with the overcharge. Barely does live. And Geralt pulls back, he respects it. Doesn't want to get caught out. It's a fight out in the open instead. And that Nova is not going to go off. And nice snipe. And with that, Geralt, he can take the fight. Oh, he's bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. A lot of Stalkers are going down, but we're coming in for the surround. And we collapse on the army. We go for the Immortals. Disruptor has arrived. Big connection. Massive connection on the Zealots. NightMare takes a supply lead, and Geralt has been missing Warpins. Oh, we have been missing Warpins here back at home. We have a lot of resources in the bank. And now we're taking Robo, Bay, Immortal production. And Geralt, he was so close to breaking NightMare. So close. But Geralt, he pulls back. Does pull back, getting into the rest of his production. Getting into his robos, into his bay, eventually into his own disruptors. But NightMare, now he has a massive disruptor lead. Like, even though Geralt has all these bases, and even though Geralt has the better economy, like, when it comes to the quality of the army, like, we have to favor NightMare here. Look at all these disruptors. 5 disruptors against 0. Like, NightMare has just so much potential with this force. Doubling forward. Novas are going to be going off. They connect. Oh, massive connections. Big overextension here by Geralt. Geralt, ay. Just pushing in too far, pushing in too deep. Takes so many Novas to the face. And Geralt's being outscaled. Again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for NightMare. Geralt was on a timer. And he was doing so well this game, getting so many probe kills, so many stasis traps, outmaneuvering the army, sniping disruptors, but again, the window has closed. NightMare being quite bold, very bold here with these disruptors. Moving forward. Meanwhile, the disruptors are spotted by Geralt. He's aware. Oh my, cheeky moves! Let's go! Nova's going off! Up! They do go up. They go for the disruptors. It looks like we do get the massive connections. Gerald, let's go. How was that, like 4 or 5 disruptors? Update, Pappy, update. Disrupt, there we go. A 2 for 5 trade. Very nicely done. Thanks to the observer that does go down. That was a critical observer there for Gerald. Crucial even. And with that, suddenly, NightMare no longer has the disruptor lead. Suddenly, Gerald, he's bouncing back. Both players are maxed out. Looking at the armies, we have 4 disruptors versus 3. Fleet beacons on the way. We're getting ready for Sky Toss. Gerald does have the superior economy. We have the gold base. Oh. So pulling back. Gerald is going to be pulling back. Stellar counterattacks being set up. It is spotted. NightMare is aware. NightMare is aware. Meanwhile, Nova's go off, I believe, first for Gerald. Yeah, does shoot first. Ooh, even catching stalkers. At the same time, Gerald busting into the mineral line. Does overextend a little bit here, as NightMare was in position. But when it comes to the main fight, it's in favor of Gerald. Does catch NightMare out. Nova's, they connect. And good chunk of stalkers go down. Gerald does rotate over, going for the disruptors. Up. This time NightMare does shoot first. Does shoot first here. Gerald pulling back. And still a lot of posturing. I mean, Gerald, he's taking this slow as he's working towards +1 air attack and working towards Sky Toss. Wants to head in that direction, so still a very tense situation here. Up! Still very tense. As NightMare shoots first, takes down 2 disruptors. And this could be it. This could be the moment. Nova's will connect in favor of Gerald. But last is being forced back. Yeah, NightMare gaining ground. Does gain ground, does preserve most of his disruptors, and is pushing through. Behind this, Gerald setting up a surround. Does come in, blinks forward. Disruptors will connect, and it looks like Gerald, does he have enough? Barely does. Barely breaks through. Oh god, the balls. And I was hoping that this would have been ready. I was like, okay, now we can make Tempest, right? Not quite. 2 more Stargates are on the way. We did not have the Stargates ready for this, despite the bank of Gerald was not ready for the Skytoss switch, for the Skytoss transition. So we're still working towards it. DT counterattack, shuts down a base. I want to favor NightMare at least until we hit those Tempest. Until Tempest arrive. Thanks to all these disruptors. Stalker army does try to sneak behind the force of NightMare. Does try to slip by. Our base is on the way. Again, if Gerald can just buy some more time and make use of these Stargates, then sure, like, we can make some magic happen. And there it is. Carrier production has begun. But it's only just now begun. It could have started, I feel like, quite some time ago. Still not quite there. NightMare rotating around, going for the gold. And we may as well just go for a base trade. Disruptors have turned around. They're on the hunt. Up, who catches who? Oh, the Novas. Okay, they take down the Disruptors. Massive connections, and NightMare loses almost every single one. 2 Disruptors survive. 2 Disruptors do survive. The goal base falls. So does the proxy. Gerald's rotating around, building up more carriers. More carriers on the way. Only 2 Stargates. I was hoping for a 3rd. So only making 2 carriers at a time. And NightMare trying to catch out the main army. Does move out across the map. At the same time, Gerald moves in. NightMare turns around for a moment. Now we're going to be committed. We are pushing out. Nova's go off. Oh my god. Gerald did take a Nova to the face. Did happen off screen there. Disruptors in position. And we're hoping to catch those Stalkers. And I feel like Gerald, we've done it. Have we gotten away with Skytoss? Kind of. How many are we still on 2 carriers? 3. Carrier count isn't looking too high. So Mass Stalker, I would still favor here. Only 3 carriers. So my base going down. Do snipe the Nexus. Bearing in mind as well, NightMare has a super maxed army, as NightMare has stayed on a lower overall worker count. Only 3-way saturation. It's going up, catching Zealots. Gerald taking bottom left once again. Moving out with his entire army. And he is prone to getting surrounded. Has to be careful. NightMare coming in from behind. Nova going up. God, but that's a lot of Stalkers. And we don't quite commit. We don't quite dive in. Observer goes down. NightMare pushing forward. Oof. He's got a group of Stalkers and a group of Disruptors. We're just trying to catch Geralt out. Especially because NightMare is grad focus, I wouldn't be opposed to him knocking down the rocks. But for now, pulling back. He's going to be defending. Shall sound the DT. At the same time, we attempt some DT harass elsewhere. We have cannons. Nova's go off! Gerald pushing through. Disruptors, they're coming from behind. It looks like they will connect. Yeah, massive connections. Gerald bleeding out. Disruptors. Zealots from behind. Likewise, Gerald sets up his own surround. And catches the Stalkers. They barely will not blink in time. Novas will connect. And NightMare, he's being chased down. Once again, flanking Disruptors. Massive connections here on these Stalkers. And NightMare has to get the hell out of here. And he gets caught out. And Gerald, his supply, it barely moves. He's still maxed out. With a massive army, he gets 17 probe kills at the northern base. Gerald double expands. And Gerald is looking to take this. Now up to 5 carriers, soon to be 7. Oh. Oh my god. The blink a little bit too late. Massive connections. NightMare does pop up. Goes for a big counterattack. Knocks down the 4th. Gerald's coming in from behind. Up! Quite connect. Doesn't quite connect that. Meanwhile, the gold base is going to be shut down. NightMare rotating. NightMare still has potential. Can still try to outmaneuver Gerald. Gerald still has a larger bank. It's going to be recalling over. Does see the movement with the Zanaga. He sees. He knows. Is in position. No shield batteries. We dive in. Oh, but the diving gets punished. We do punish the blink. Novas go off. The Stalkers get shut down. At the same time, looks like we caught the Stalkers, the ground army of Gerald. Mothership. Mothership gets shut down. The flanking disruptors. Big connections. Gerald does find some good connections here on the Stalkers. At the same time, NightMare catches out some disruptors and the carrier. Carrier goes down. Disruptor as well. So what am I defended against? Chaotic for both players. Chaos does ensue. Gold base is denied. You can see NightMare trying to hunt down those carriers. Attempts to. Up! Needs out more Stalkers. And NightMare, he's burning through his bank. NightMare, he needs an expansion. So you can see here, NightMare, he's running out of resources. Has, what, 5 patches here towards the south. Sorry, 4 patches. 3 patches here. NightMare falling further and further behind in the army supply because of his economy. At the same time, they're going for a split push. The south, the north. Probes are falling. But again, we can't replace the Stalkers is a problem. Does go for the recall. We'll lose everything. Stalkers go down. At the same time, we hit the production. The Novas. NightMare doing everything he can, but it's still an uphill battle. It's still just too much. 21 probes fall. But NightMare's getting caught out. Black Templar, they trade with the Stalkers. And this is really all we have left. The Stalker army, 70 supply. Meanwhile, Geralt, we still have the Golden Armada. 6 carriers. Sure, we focus out the disruptors. We bleed out so much of the process. GG gets called in. Geralt will do it. He will take it. Game number 2. We're going to the ace match. GG. Oh. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game number 3. Oh my god. A very chaotic game there. I mean, Geralt had the better economy for so long, for so much of that. Did go for a late tech switch into Skytoss. I did feel like we could have done so a little bit earlier, but we got there nonetheless. And once we got there, we were able to build up and overwhelm. And again, the pressure was on NightMare to just pick away at the Skytoss as best he could, but he wasn't able to. He wasn't able to in the end. So we're getting ready for the ace match for game 3. Getting ready for game 3. Let's go. Let us go. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to Dynasty for the ace match. When are you waking up in the morning? Este fiat. There you go. Gerald on EU, Gerald on NA. Yeah. Get the T and the D. But we are getting ready for the ace match, getting ready for the conclusion of this series. And yeah, we're able to bounce back here against NightMare. It's going all the way to that final game in this best of 3. And I believe we have the lower semifinals ready for us as well. Just quickly double checking. Yes, we have the lower semifinals as well. Cristiano took down Azura 2-0, and Cristiano is up against Nick Racked in the lower semis. They are patiently waiting for the conclusion of our series. Looks like Gerald does need a moment though. I don't blame him. After a very long game on Golden Aura, he needs a breath, he needs a moment, needs some time. I fully understand. Needs a moment to himself before we jump into the ace match. And how will this story end? But again, that last game I was so concerned that that because of the late tech switch into Skytos, that Cristiano would be able to, sorry, that not Cristiano, that NightMare would be able to break through and would be able to outmaneuver and just outtrade Gerald. But Gerald, he was able to hold the line. Did hold the line back. Did hold the line in the end. So we are settling in. And we're getting ready for game 2. Sorry, game 3. We are settling into game 3. It's going to be on Dynasty. Here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Dynasty, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Bleed Esports. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is Gerald. Here we go. We are settling in. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to the ace match. It is going to be on Dynasty of all maps, which is crazy. Now, when it comes to Dynasty, there are certain features of this map. One of the big ones is the goal base. The goal base you can rush into. The goal base you can take at the natural. But in a PvP matchup, you usually avoid the gold. You usually take this later on as a third or as a fourth base instead. The reason for this is because of how aggressive and how difficult it can be to actually get this base up and running against harass, right? Adepts, stalkers, oracles, sentry, anything range-based can of course harass and deter any mining at the gold. So it's difficult to take the gold base early on unless you're up against a Zerg player. Right, Zerg players with Lings and with Banelings early on can't really punish this too much. You can punish it with Roaches, but a Zerg player would have to rush into Roaches to make that happen. That's also why in like ZVPs and ZVTs we see a lot of Roach all-ins in that kind of dynamic on this map. It's very common to see Roach all-ins. But here in a PvP we should be taking the standard expansions. The natural, if you will. Not the gold. We'll see if we can get there. Let's see if we can get there. And where the game takes us. We've seen that so far in longer games, Gerald has been more fond of embracing something like Skytos. Has been more fond of it. Meanwhile, NightMare has been more willing to stick with a more dynamic mid-game composition of Stalker Disruptor. That's been the case so far in Game 1 and Game 2. If the game goes on that long, then we can embrace that once again. But we'll see if we try to end the game a little bit earlier. Speaking of, that's what Gerald was going for on Golden Aura. He was quite committed early on 3 bases. Trying to kill his opponent with a massive gateway army and was unable to. NightMare survived with disruptors. And now you can see both players attempting to expand here on the low ground. Gerald will be the first to expand. NightMare, his expansion is delayed thanks to the pylon. Pylon will be shut down. Pylon will fall. And now we do take our own expansion. NightMare does pull away. And we're getting into our Twilight Councils. Okay, Twilight Council opener from both players. No one is rushing into Robo and Immortals. But NightMare does have the Stalker lead and takes down the first Stalker already. The first Stalker goes down. Shield battery as well. Already we have momentum on the side of a NightMare. And even though Gerald went for the faster expansion, which he did do, is gonna have a hard time actually controlling that base. We have to wait for another warp in. The base is under fire. With some extra Stalkers, we should be able to break out. Should. As Gerald expands elsewhere at the gold. Boys are being pulled. Sentries have arrived for the force fields. The counter force fields, though. We catch a Stalker. Very nice. We do catch a Stalker. More boys being pulled. Likewise, we can see NightMare reinforcing immediately. Trying to break his opponent as quickly as possible. And he's going for the base, and he will get it. The Nexus will fall. 6 probes as well. And the Nexus goes down at the same time. Gerald taking that gold. That will help him recover. Going for a Dark Shrine as well. But Gerald, he is in a rough position. Nice force field. Does trap one Stalker. And should be able to focus it down. Should focus it down. Gerald's getting his own gold base. Now, as I mentioned before, this gold base is really risky to take in this matchup just because it can be abused quite hard. That's why Gerald's already in position. NightMare has yet to confirm. He hasn't checked the gold base yet. He's unawares. Pulling back, building up. Blink is finishing up for NightMare, and he's pushing, and Gerald's in a lot of trouble. Now, the mining at this gold base is helping him recover and helping him keep up, but the reality is that NightMare is still ahead after killing the natural base. And he's moving out. He is moving out, looking to knock down the gold. And he has arrived, going for the Stalker. And he does attempt to focus it down. Overcharge is popped. That will help out Gerald for as long as it lasts, but we just have an overwhelming army. We have an overwhelming number of Stalkers. Yeah, he will break through. Shield batteries, they're finishing up, but it's not going to be enough. Not here for Gerald. Not anymore, as we do reinforce with an extra wave of Stalkers. Again, with our 4-gate setup, we do actually recall back home. DTs, they did slip in. DTs, they got across the map. 7 probes go down. That does alleviate some pressure. Gerald is holding. Barely holds on. NightMare, forced to expand, is taking his own gold. Should be moving out once again. And army-wise, Gerald, he's still working with half the Stalker count of NightMare. And Gerald still does not have Blink. Can we rush into the Dark Shrine? And the DTs did help. But when it comes to the main army, again, that's stupid. It's not lying. It doesn't lie. Not here. And even with the overcharge, the concave is too good. We have more reinforcements on the way. Across the map, we're going for some Adept Harass, but last NightMare, he's ready, he's in position. And he will shut down the gold. Yeah, we just annihilate the mineral line here. Gold base is going to get knocked down, and NightMare will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG gets called. Alas, just from really early on there, we saw the first Stalker go down, the first shield battery get denied, and honestly, with that start, it's just really difficult to recover, really difficult to bounce back from that position, and NightMare just never let up, any of that aggression, just ensured that he maintained his lead, and it just kept the pressure up. The DTs was a nice touch out of Gerald. It did allow him to buy time, but it wasn't enough to catch up. It wasn't enough to make up for the earlier losses and earlier deficit. Was not enough, and with that, NightMare advances on to the grand finals, and we're getting ready for the lower semifinals. Is it going to be a PvP or PvT finals? We're here to find out.